Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you. I'm the Layback Gamer, and we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Legends for the final few cards of the Houses of Morrowind expansion. We're going to take a look at the neutrals, and, well, let's get started. First off, there aren't that many neutrals here. As you can see, we got 4, 8, 9 neutrals. Total of 9 neutrals in this expansion. I feel like they should have added a few more in, just because, well, then again, they did add quite a few. I'm pretty sure any card that was in the triple classes were probably taking out of the neutral count. Excuse me. So that's probably why we had a lack of neutrals this expansion, but still, I think they should have added in like a couple more. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think they should have added in a few more. I think it would have been really epic if they gave us also three new support. Or not 3 supports. Well, it could be either 3 supports or 3 items. And it is Keening, Wrathguard, and I forget the other one, but it was those 3. And in Morrowind, they were some of the legendary equipment / weapons that you had to find in the game. It's now annoying me that I don't know the names of them, but I thought that surely, especially in the Clockwork City expansion where we saw a Mark II of them, I thought surely if they ever do a Morrowind expansion, they wouldn't forget about these 3 pieces of equipment, because I had never played Morrowind. But I know apparently that, just from watching videos, that those 3 weapons were really well known. You couldn't wield them with it if you were missing one part. You had to have all 3 in order to wield both weapons, and you had to be wearing so 2 of them were weapons, 1 of them were gloves. You had to have all of them, all 3 of them together in order to use them without hurting yourself, essentially. And I thought for sure that if there was any expansion that was going to add these in, it would be Morrowind. It would be a Morrowind expansion. I'm a little upset that never became the case. It would have been really cool to have had them there. Basically, each of them, they're unique legendary either items or supports, or a mix of them. You can consider the gloves as support. And you gain a very small benefit from them. If you have 2 out of the 3 pieces, you gain a bigger benefit. And if you had all 3 there, you gained a big benefit from all 3 of them being out. Say with the gloves, you get, I don't know, say every turn you have a 50% chance to gain 1 point of health, to restore 1 point of health. And if you have gloves and another of the 2 items out, you gain 1 health every turn. And then afterwards, if you have all 3 out, you gain 3 health at the start of every turn. That would have been insane. And then with the hammer, which is the one weapon I'm forgetting the name of, if, say, you have that in play, the creature that has equipped has +1/+1. You have the hammer or Keening / Wrathguard in play, it gains +2/+2. If you have all 3 of them in play, the creature with it has either +4, +4, +5, +5, something crazy that would encourage you to play all 3 of these. However, the drawback, and I'll get to Keening in a sec. Well, Keening we can use from Skyrim. It's in Skyrim it would absorb health, absorb stamina, and absorb magicka. So Keening would give keywords. One of them could be drain. Another one could be, at 2, it could give drain and, I don't know, another keyword. I wouldn't put lethal because I want to put lethal as the last one. And if you have all 3, you gain drain, lethal, keyword. So it would be like crazy powerful to have all three of them out. However, you cannot play all three of them on a turn just to prevent people from abusing it, just holding on to it until they were ready. You have to play each one of them at a time. And a way you can get around that is, well, like Master of Arms could get around that. You just equip both the items to him. But anyways, I'm upset that they're not in this game because I think the devs could have done something really cool with them. So, enough of jabbering on about what's not in this game. Let's go to what is in this game. And what we do have is the legendary Jib. Jib is a 1-mana Dark Elf, 1/1, slay, change into Saint Jib, Eradicator of the Winged Menace. And what Saint Jib is a 5/5 unique legendary guard. Can't be damaged or targeted by Cliff Racers, Cliff Hunters, and Cliff Striders. 5-cost creature. So basically, you can't anything with any of the Cliff Racer race in this cannot harm Jib. And if there were more of these in the game, I would say this would be a very powerful card. I think they added him in because he's the first guy you meet off the boat of Morrowind. He's the first one you meet, after all. So they kind of had to have him in here. And not to mention you also get to see him in Skyrim, but so that's probably where a lot of people know Jib from, is from the Dawnguard DLC. They know him from there if you've met him in the Soul Cairn, but a lot of other people know him from Morrowind. I've watched maybe an episode or two of Morrowind because I had the idea to get into it, and then I realized the graphics were awful for the time. Well, at the time they were probably amazing, but nowadays it's a little, the graphics make it a little unplayable. I could still play Oblivion because that's what I grew up on, but anyways, the point I'm trying to get here is they threw Jib in here because, well, he's Jib, and then he becomes Saint Jib later. He's very similar to Delphine, a lot less effective because Delphine would trigger off of, I think, slaying. It also triggers off of slaying a card, and it's immune to dragons, which when it came out, and there were a lot more dragon cards introduced to Heroes of Skyrim with Delphine than there were with Jib, and more Cliff Racer species introduced to Houses of Morrowind. So it's unfortunate, but if we ever see more Cliff Racers get introduced in the game, Jib will be that much more powerful. Mudcrab Merchant. A 1-mana Mudcrab, 1/3, summon. The Mudcrab Merchant shows you 2 cards he has for sale. Choose one to put in your hand, he puts the other into your opponent's hand. Now, I commented this on Gentleman Jim Stacy, a pretty awesome combo where your opponent has no cards in hand, you play Mudcrab Merchant, you Gentleman Jim Stacy, and you get both cards from the Mudcrab Merchant. It's awesome. I think this is a meme card, and I play it because, well, I soul summoned it for Bane Miller, who's constantly tuning into the streams. Thank you once again, Bane Miller. But it's probably going to stay in my deck, in my Redoran deck, and possibly a couple other decks, just because I like the card. I love this card. There's an Easter egg to him in Skyrim Dragonborn DLC, as well. He was a merchant that you could trade with in Morrowind, believe it or not. He was the only talking Mudcrab, the only merchant of his kind, and he loved his alcohol. That's about all I know about him. Meme card, I don't think many people would play him. I certainly will, and I have been. Dwemer Puzzle Box. 2 mana support, 3 use, activate, discard the top card of your deck. Last gasp, draw a card. You basically are just cycling your deck to find something you want. So you have to build your deck around this. I've seen one person do it where they ran all 3 copies of Dwemer Puzzle Box, and they were basically trying to cycle their deck out until they had no cards in their deck, and they would chain. They would chain with Tharana and Ice Spike, and just basically OTK him from there. It required a ton of setup. Not to mention, you had to get through whole deck very quickly in order to make this worthwhile. But they... Oh, not again. Hold on one second. I apologize for that. This happened to me once before. I have no idea why it disconnected just at random. But I was done with the Dwemer puzzle box. You have to build a deck around it, so in order to make it viable, or otherwise you're just discarding every card that you see. Next we have Stolen Pants, 2-mana item, +1/+1. Summon a 0/1 Sheepish Dwemer in the other lane. Last cast give Sheepish Dwemer his pants. Now personally, I find this to be an absolute hilarious card. I love it. And when I first saw it, I remember just laughing at it going, what? What? This is a card in this game? That's insane. Why? Why would you have this? I thought it was hilarious. Do I think it's viable? I think you could use it. It gives you a free creature. And when when that creature with Stolen Pants dies, it gives it to another creature. So, I think you could play with this card. It's yeah, this reminds... Okay, I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent, but this reminds me of a time in Oblivion, where you meet this beggar in the Shivering Isles called Femian, and Femian's very hungry. You notice that he has the Calming Pants, which you need that for a quest. And he says, he's very hungry. He wants a sweet roll. So if you give him a sweet roll, he'll eat it, and then he'll just give you his pants. And just throw it around in just a linen cloth and a shirt. Oh, I'm sorry if my laugh is awful, but that's what this reminds me of. You're just stealing someone's pants, essentially, because you can. Oh, boy. Oh, what have we got into now? This is definitely a hilarious card, and if I had a copy of it, I would probably play it. Get a little laugh every time I played it. Oh, good times. Then we have Dismantle. 3-mana action. Destroy an enemy support or neutral creature. Honestly, I thought this was going to be more powerful. Thought this was going to be a little strong. I think this the neutral creature effect was added in order to counter factotums. I'm pretty sure at the time they thought, when they came out with this, oh geez, what have we done? You know, factotums might be too powerful, especially if you start chaining this out. We gotta get working on this. Should we add it into the hero? Nah, don't add it into heroes. We don't want to ruin that. Put Dismantle into Houses of Morrowind. Actually, at the time, they probably go, just put it in the next expansion. Don't put it in with the Forgotten Hero bundle. But this isn't as powerful as I thought, because I thought this was going to be stronger, but not many people play neutral creatures right now. If we ever get some neutral creatures in the future that is more powerful, then this card would be played a lot more. It's a good way to destroy a support, but I think the real reason why it was printed was so that you could destroy neutral creatures. However, you can't really just have an effect that destroys a neutral creature outright, as you're then isolating it, and people will go, alright, I'm not going to play neutral creatures anymore, get around Dismantled. And suddenly Dismantled becomes a very bad card. So adding the enemy support in this makes this card playable to supports now as well. I run a couple copies of it as some extra support removal. Though I'm probably, for the time being, unless neutral creatures start making another comeback, or you start to see more and more of them, I would probably only run one copy of this. Then I have Silent Pilgrim, 3-mana Dark Elf, 1/1. Summon, draw a multi-attribute card from your deck. Now, multi-attribute means anything with 2 or 3 attributes, so any of the house cards or any of the other the class cards. Depending on what you have in this, it's pretty powerful, and it has some potential. So say you're running a deck. Ooh, I have a good example of it, although I don't know why you would do this. House Dagoth. Say you were just running Dagoth-ur. Just Dagoth-ur, and that was the only card in your deck that had more than one attribute in it. You get Silent Pilgrim. You know you could play Silent Pilgrim at any time, and you'll have Dagoth at your command. I don't know why you would do this. I would probably do, honestly, Dagoth and 2 copies of Hands of Dagoth, 3 copies of Silent Pilgrim, and even if you accidentally draw, say, a Hand of Dagoth or Dagoth you can play Silent Pilgrim and get out another copy of a different card. You can get your Hands of Dagoth, or if Dagoth is still in your deck and you drew a Hand of Dagoth, you have a 50-50 to get one of those 2. So it's a card I think you have to build your deck around to play with, but it has potential. It has potential, and I'll be honest, I'm thinking about it if I can when I get Dagoth Then we have Unite the Houses, a 3-mana action. If you have at least 1 card of each attribute in play, you win the game, and I think this is an awesome win condition. Another awesome way to have a win condition. It's very low cost, but it requires a monumental condition. It's basically, can you get 1 attribute of everything on the field? Which I love it. I love it as a card. So the best one to play with this is you are a tribunal deck, and you have a lot of steel. You have quite a bit of steel that you can pull off of. Then you play against an Archer deck, or a Halahu deck, or a Dagoth deck, and you steal either a strength weapon, agility weapon, a support from either or a creature. You hold onto those cards until you're ready to play Unite the Houses. Yes, you have, say, a Tribunal Oathman on the field. You play your strength and agility cards. As long as you have 3 Magicka left, or 2 with the ring, you play Unite the Houses. You shut the gates like you did in that one Dark Brotherhood quest, or like you did with Jarl Balgruuf. You win the game. Condition number 2, play Dragonsbound with this in your hand. Dragonsbound will give you every attribute in the game. And as long as you can pick them up, you're golden. You're golden. It's a dead card if your deck is not designed to be able to get or generate cards that are from other attributes that you're not playing. But you can easily build a deck around. You can build a deck around Unite the Houses. I currently have one that's built around Unite the Houses. However, I'm waiting for the right time to show off me getting this for real. I did it once in the stream for the Houses of Morrowind expansion, the kickoff stream to this expansion, and it was awesome. I had a lot of fun with it. Next we have Yagrum Bargain, a 3-mana Dwemer, 2/4 summon, draw a Dwemer from your discard pile and give it +2/+2. I don't know the origins of this Dwemer. However, this is an actual Dwemer, not a Dwemer, not a automaton, or automaton sums it all up. But this is an actual real life flesh and blood Dwemer. And I don't know much about it. I just know that he came back at some point. From what I heard, he was in a plane of oblivion. And he came back after his race had completely vanished. And because he was in a plane of oblivion, he was unaware that they left, therefore couldn't join them. And, well, now he is, at the time, the last living Dwemer to the world. Now, in terms of him, I know for a fact that he will benefit from Halls of the Dwemer. For a fact, he'll do that. Because, well, it's in his name. He's a Dwemer. If he doesn't, it makes no sense. However, I think the Dwemer cards need I think maybe 1 or 2 other somewhat powerful Dwemer cards in order to make an official lasting deck list. Because I know a bunch of people out there have Dwemer decks, and it's kind of like that awesome challenge of, I want to see about how well I can do with this, but I mean an actual competitive Dwemer deck. And this card is a step in the right direction. Now, granted, the summon effect, you need to have multiple copies of, but if you have Gearwork Spider in your grave and you pick up one of those, you get the other 2 copies, and one of them has +2/+2. So in a true neutral only deck, I believe we are a couple good Dwemer cards away from making it a reality. This legendary is definitely something you want to put into that deck. And finally we have Blueclaw Matron. 7 mana, Droog, 3 attack, 4 health, no effect. Hold on just a second. If I'm correct... Oh, look at this. We have a Fearsome Droog for 4 mana, 3/5. I am paying 3 extra magicka for 3 extra health. This card is rarely played. I only see beginners using this card. What are the chances? I'm in Clockwork City, aren't I? What are the chances somebody's going to look at this and go, oh, this has 3 more health, and it's a little late game than the Vicious Droog? I'm going to play a Blueclaw Matron. No. Just no. If there's a card that ever gets announced, which I'm going to be discussing this in the next in 2 episodes from now, or maybe in the next... Actually, it's going to be the next episode because I'm going to keep the top 10 list short because I've already done all my explanations. And if you want... And again, in that video, if I can figure out how to do links, I will link every video to where... And maybe if I can get a timestamp as well, I will link every video to each point in where I discuss the card. But this card will only ever be good if we get, I'd say, 3 or 4 Droogs that give a good effect. I don't even think this is considered an animal. No, I can't even check if it's considered an animal. I don't think it is. Which means it's got no synergy whatsoever. Doesn't have enough attack to fit in a Dagoth deck. It's too expensive to fit in a plot deck. You're not going to betray this because it's such a high cost creature. You're never going to betray this. You can't exalt it because it doesn't come with exalt. And rallying this does nothing. It does nothing for it. This is honestly perhaps, which it's surprising, but I think this is the worst card. Well, actually, not surprising, but I think this is the worst card of the set. It is an example of one of the actually surprisingly few bad cards of this, like completely bad. You would never play this. Who plays this? You would only play it if you had this and 2 other unplayable cards in an arena match. And even then, you would probably pick one of the unplayable cards because you might be able to draft something later that you could play it with. It sucks. It's awful. The only way it gets any better is if we have more Droogs get introduced that interact with other Droogs. In that case, this card suddenly becomes a very potent, very strong Droog card that has a few more benefits. But still, it sucks. I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. And there's a couple other cards in the set that I wouldn't, but I've been nice enough not to say it. And this one, I wouldn't touch it. I'm never going to play it. I'm not going to bother even disenchanting it. It doesn't even deserve any more of my time. You're done. I don't even want to look at you anymore. Why did I do that? Oh, that's why. I'm going to go look at a cool card. I'm going to go look at our Dwemer friend here. Because I like seeing it. I like seeing another Dwemer added into this expansion. I thought we were going to get a couple more Dwemer cards as well because I'm pretty sure there are also some Dwemer ruins in Morrowind, so it wouldn't make sense to introduce a couple more. But anyways, that's going to be it for the neutral cards. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of my other videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. Next episode, I go over my top 10 cards of the entire Morrowind expansion. And I'm also going to briefly mention what is the future. What I believe the future is going to be. Because I don't know if I said this in a video. I think I did at the end of Clockwork City. But I said it'd be really cool if we had if we had a class with 3 cards. And I think I gave an example of Battle Mage with agility. Or no, I think I said Battle Mage with willpower, actually. Or something along the lines of that. And, well, here we have it. So, if I did say it in a previous video, I'm saying it right now, I called it. But if I didn't, I'm gonna... Well, I guess I said it to myself then. But I'm gonna attempt to call the next expansion in the next video after we review the top 10 cards of the set. Take it easy, guys.